Midwest Festival in South Haven, Michigan. This is the first time that we've seen the Grid Life Rush Series here at our biggest and most popular event. And Grid Life Rush Series we've had in the Grid Life paddock since the tail end of 2023 at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. And more Rush Series racing last year. This year we fully pulled the Rush Series into the Grid Life community. And of course, it was a father-son operation at Rush Auto Works. David and Blair Hosie working together, always the life of the party here. But on May 19th, 2025, just a couple of weeks ago, David Hosie unexpectedly passed away. And of course, it was a big shock to the community. But David was a beloved presence in the Grid Life paddock, an unforgettable character whose energy, humor, and passion left a lasting impression on everyone who had the chance to work alongside him, myself included. And his relentless vision and dedication were the driving force behind the development of the Rush Series into the vibrant category that it is today in the Grid Life community and beyond. And beyond his remarkable talents as an engineer, designer, and builder, David brought joy and spirit to everything that he touched. A true original, always ready with a story, a laugh, and determination to keep moving things forward. And he loved entertaining the community that he helped build this series, this car, this manufacturer with. We're certainly going to feel the weight of his absence at Grid Life race weekends, and it will not be the same without him. And while Grid Life is proud to host the race series in which Rush cars compete, we are extremely committed to supporting the continued growth of the platform that David created and to honoring his legacy through the community and competition he helped shape. Of course, our condolences go out to Blair Hosie and the entire Hosie family. David will be missed in the paddock and beyond. You have a look there at Blair Hosie, the number 8 Rush SR. So in memory of David Hosie, of course, Rush Series practice number 3 is about to begin, but the car will head out on the racetrack and then we'll do a formation lap in his honor before continuing on to practice. And you know, it's been so much fun to watch the Rush Series grow and build, and the introduction of the SRX, which we got a little bit of a taste for at Road Atlanta a couple weeks ago. The series, the car, the vision that David Hosie built has certainly come to fruition.
Yeah, I think he'd be proud of what this series is going to become. Hopefully, we'll see some really close racing here this weekend. I think based on the earlier practice times, I think there's going to be some really close competition in the top 4 or 5, and I think that would make him proud. Yeah,
I think so too. And again, David Hosie, great, just had so much energy every time you walked up to him in the paddock, was always a friendly face. And again, there's so many things behind the scenes to, you know, look at all these cars on the grid. Let's just take, for example, and note that, you know, Rush Auto Works is a relatively new manufacturer, you know, as far as providing these, you know, spec race cars to the community. And there's hundreds of them all over the country now. And what they've done over the last couple of years and bringing these to market as a reliable, safe, efficient race car, and what they're doing for the racing community in general cannot be overlooked. And David's involvement with that at the base ground level has been so critical. There's Blair Hosie, son of David, and Blair, you know, absorbing a lot of the friendly spirit of his father, but again, is his own man in his own way. And I think, you know, he's been such a delight to talk to and be a part of this whole operation. And this will be emotional for him and for, you know, a lot of the people that knew David very well. He was so involved in the paddock. But this will be a touching moment for Blair and the entire Hosie family. And in just a minute, I think there's still a cleanup or a piece of debris that they're trying to snag off the racetrack before we go on the course. But again, this will be just a formation lap or 2 before we turn the cars loose for practice number 3. And again, the vision of David Hosie all in a line behind the safety car at the moment. All these cars, these drivers, able to race on a more affordable budget, able to transport and travel with these cars, work on them together, you know, have an ecosystem where, you know, parts are inexpensive and the data is usable, and you know, these cars have impressive data systems on them. Their safety is unparalleled for a car of that's designed like this, which is a, you know, small, inexpensive sports racer. Just a true visionary in David Hosie. So you know, look at the it really is a big deal, I think, to have the Rush Series here. And I know he'd be so stoked to see this paddock so full and have 30-plus Rush SR cars racing here this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look at the whole field is stretching all the way to the tower where we're located. That's more than halfway down the front straight. That's how many cars there are here today. And, you know, he really found a gap in the market for a fast yet affordable wheel-to-wheel car. And that was a very innovative idea that he had and that he executed, and we're seeing we're reaping the rewards from that. I think it's going to keep growing. I think it's going to become. It's already a staple of our wheel-to-wheel broadcast, and it's only going to keep growing from here with the introduction of the Rush SRX. Yeah, it's really cool to see it grow from just a few cars to 30 plus 40 cars like we had at Road Atlanta.
Right, and certainly just from engineering and design and also the business side and all the effort that David and Blair and family put in to make this a success. It takes a lot. I mean, we're building cars. This is not like you're building a product that you put on a car. You know, this is an entire product from cradle to grave, right? So there's so much going on behind the scenes in development and understanding what the customers need for reliability, what they need for pace, and what they need for support at the racetrack and beyond. And also note that the Rush Series has a whole hospitality set up here as well, sort of bringing a different kind of experience to paddocks around the country. So, you know, again, these cars, you can run them for a couple $100 an hour, which, you know, if you've ever put it in a spreadsheet, you'll know that that's actually pretty inexpensive, all things considered. And there's a lot to be said about, you know, how simple these cars are mechanically, but how advanced they are in performance. For the SR, about $45,000 is your base price for these, but what you get is a race car.
Yeah, and as somebody that has a lot of experience in production car manufacturing and race car manufacturing, I can tell you it's really, really difficult to build cars from scratch. There's a lot of, you know, you have to account for a lot of different things. There's a lot of moving systems. There's a lot of mechanical components that mix with electronic components. And, you know, you have to think a lot about the safety of your customers, the safety of those around you, of the track, everything like that. And to basically build cars from the ground up is a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, certainly. And then to continue pushing forward, of course, the Rush SRX debuted in competition at Road Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. Of course, we won't see a lot more of those cars here this year. There's still some things to work out and dial in before it really is ready to be, you know, presented on such a large scale. But that's because they're, you know, of course, they're so involved with the process of making these things perfect for the customers, making them presentable and exciting to watch. And I was really excited about the SRX, but again, I think with everything going on with David's unexpected passing, I think it makes sense to focus on delivering products to their customers and also just taking some time for themselves, also the family, to consider. You know, when you lose someone like David, it puts a hole in the community for sure.
Yeah, it's a really difficult loss to process when it's such a surprise like that. So I'm glad that they're taking the time that they need to accept it or come to some sort of acceptance with
and just, you know, a guy like David Hosie, how involved he was in the company. There's a lot of things that need to get reorganized and restructured, and I think there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and Blair is ready for the challenge, and I think he's just really motivated and excited to keep racing. He's running for the championship this year in the Grid Life Rush Series, and he'll be in the mix. In the past, he was, you know, the Rush Stig, they called him on the timing and scoring, and he'd pull in at the end, but no pulling in at the end this time. He's going for points and is racing in the series that he and his dad built, and I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's great to see. You know, I think it brings a lot of honor to him to instead of pulling in and kind of, you know, letting the others play, so to speak. You know, he's going to stay out there and he's going to show them the real pace is.
And you know, drivers coming on board with these cars, we've seen already drivers like Nate Hamilton, Chris Forsberg, Shanks have jumped on board these cars. Andy Volkel has subscribed to this ideology. They're bringing in drivers. We talked about James French, Nathan Alexander, young talent and experienced talent from all over the country that have jumped on board this chassis to learn it, to race in it, because the competition level is very high. And again, the presentation of this series, the way that the series handles itself, the way that they set up their hospitality, the way that they bring everyone together effectively under one tent, I think is commendable. And it really is an exciting time, right? And so I think David Hosie, no longer with us, but I think very proud of what he built.
Yeah, you can see Blair really going through some emotions there.
Yeah, again, this will be, you know, when we get on the racetrack and they've got a missing man formation planned here. We'll turn them loose for a couple minutes of practice after that. I think they were just still working on getting a car cleared somewhere else on the course, but I think that is almost ready to go. So in a moment's time, we'll send cars out, and we will stay silent during that formation lap. And when the cars get the green flag, we'll bring you coverage of the Grid Life Rush Series here from Midwest Festival. Just so cool to see all these cars lined up on grid, though. It's just 30 cars deep. Just really, really cool to see. And again, spec racing isn't something, again, wheel racing to Grid Life isn't really all that old. Again, we're about 6, 7 years into IBOC GLTC, but spec racing is something that we've really never done before. You could sort of count what was at one point spec fit, but that's more of a time attack category than it was wheel to wheel. And so bringing all these cars together that are identically, built and configured, and it just comes down to the driver. And I think that's a cool, unique experience in the Grid Life paddock, at least for now.
Yeah, Grid Life is very much a builder's organization. All the cars are builder. All the classes are builders classes. So for Rush to be part of it, which is very much a single manufacturer spec class, that definitely kind of speaks to how much we value that race series and those cars in our entire lineup.
Yeah, there was a car. I see a car on a rollback now headed back around. So the track's about to be cleared. We're in a slight delay here because of that cleanup process. But there is now the release of the Grid Life Rush Series cars. And while they head out on the racetrack to begin their formation, we are going to step aside here in just a moment, but we'll let cars get on the course and get organized for what will be an emotional moment, I'm sure, for the Hosie family. But again, for those that have just joined us, a moment of silence and a formation lap in memory of David Hosie, founder and owner of Rush Auto Works, the manufacturer that has designed, built, constructed, tested all of these Rush SR machines, built the Rush series, and unexpectedly passed away on May 19th. With the cars headed out on the racetrack now, we will take a few moments of silence while the cars grid up and get ready. Blair Hosie out on point. And practice 3 will now begin after an emotional lap in memory of David Hosie, founder and creator of Rush Auto Works. And now we go right from that into practice here.